Um, I've seen, unfortunately, a lot of practices out there in the real world of business where HR is still frowned upon or viewed as sitting at the kids' table, and that's a bad practice, a bad philosophy to have because your people are your most important asset. You can only deliver to those customers with what you empower your employees to deliver, right? And every single one of us has had a bad customer experience. Every single person listening to this podcast has had that bad experience. So think about the impacts of that because as I think about when I've had a perfectly adequate sandwich for lunch, I don't go above and beyond to let everybody know that it was a decent sandwich. However, if I feel like I've been wronged in some
Mm.
shape, form, or fashion, you, and everybody listening will get on top of the mountain with a megaphone and make sure that everybody knows about it, right? It's what I refer to as the Yelp effect, YELLP, right? You will talk to anyone and everyone who will listen about how bad that experience is. And if multiple people are having that bad experience, it becomes a compounding effect. And your people are the easiest way to actually address issues associated with product or service, right? How many of us have also been in a situation where we had to call customer support because something broke? It wasn't working the way that it needed to. It didn't get delivered, or it said it got delivered, but it wasn't there. It's those cases where that employee who you're interacting with is an extension of the brand, right? So if you're not empowering that employee to deliver on behalf of the brand, then they're going to deliver a substandard experience. And let's think about the opposite for a minute. When I think about exceptional experiences, the Ritz-Carlton comes to mind, right? And they've got all kinds of different practices that they have for their employees, one of which each employee has a daily budget of $2,000 that they can spend. You know, it's discretionary spending, and they do that to delight the customer in any way that they see. There you go, in any way that they see possible, right? And so, and they train their employees to do this. And one of my favorite things that they do as part of the training to delight the customer, to be ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen, as they say, is they teach their people to actually look or whether the guests have a look of consternation, right? If they are frustrated or upset or befuddled or whatever, emotion they're seeing, lean into that. Don't run away from it. Don't look across and see, oh, Mark looks really upset right now. I'm going to go run and hide in the corner. Walk up to Mark and engage him as a customer, as a human being. It looks like you need something. How can I help? That makes all the difference in the world. So to those, industry leaders out there who have businesses that aren't investing in their people-related programs, that's a big mess waiting to happen, right? So a couple of other things that I think about. First of all, just doing a survey doesn't fix the problem, right? As we all know. But it's important to keep restating that and making sure that people know about it, because doing an annual engagement survey once a year is like, hey, Mark, how were the other 364 days this year?
Mm.
Well, hugely subject to bias, right? Recency effect. What if you had an argument with your spouse the night before? Or what if your boss chewed you out because you missed the deadline the day before? You're going to respond to that survey a little bit differently than you would have on maybe day 2 out of the year. So more frequency, less burden in terms of listening has become really, really important. And that will continue to be important. But still, the issue is if you're creating data, you have to take action and do something with that data. Now, I'm talking about this strictly from the perspective of an employee experience program, right? But the same thing is also true for a customer experience program. And by the way, the same thing is also true for rolling those up into a holistic experience management program, right? Where you're dealing with employee and customer data together. You have to actually have somebody who's leading the charge on that. You have to have somebody who's got the strategy and is thinking about the data that are being created and how the organization is going to take action on it. Simply doing a research program and conducting surveys does not lead to any positive business outcome.